super excited. Super excited. ساعة حدا بيقول سمك، ساعة حدا بيقول سالمون، ساعة حدا بيقول سموكت سالمون، بيحكي عن أكيد وين؟ سكوتلاند أو نوروي. عم نحكي عن أتلانتيك، عم نحكي عن بحر برد ميته 14 درجة، بس ولا مرة كنت فكر معقول يكون بدبي. نحن وين؟ بوحدة من أهم السالمون بريدنج فارمز بروبلي بالعالم، واليوم الوحيدة بدبي، وعندنا حوالينا سمك عم بينطنط عم بيطرطش وين ما كان. ادمن رح بلش احكي هلا بالانجليزي، رح يخبرنا عن شو عم بيعمل. ادمن, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
I'm just saying that I'm so excited, you cannot imagine. I feel like taking a kid to Disneyland.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
That much. And usually when someone says salmon, I would say Scotland, Norway, cold water and so on. And you manage this factory, you're going to tell me all the details of how big, the quantity done, etc. Is producing more than 3-4 varieties?
We're producing 5 varieties on land here in the UAE, and we're growing Atlantic salmon.
Let's start by the beginning. Tell me about you, your name, how did you arrive here, what you do, and then a small introduction of what we're going to see, and we'll start the process from scratch to big.
Absolutely.
It's yours.
Okay, so my name's Edmund Broad. I'm the business development manager here in Fish Farm. We're the only land-based salmon farm in the Middle East, and one of only 3 in the world. We were the first farm globally in the history of aquaculture to grow market-sized salmon on land. And here we are in the middle of Jafsa Port, just 20 minutes south of Dubai, where we're growing organically grown Atlantic salmon. But not only Atlantic salmon, we're also growing sea bass, we're growing sea bream, we're growing hamor, and we're growing yellowtail kingfish, which you may have sometimes if you go to a sushi or a sashimi restaurant. So today what I'm going to show you is the salmon process from egg all the way up to a market-sized salmon of 7, 8, 9 kilos. The largest we've ever grown is up to 12 kilos. So we're going to go downstairs now to our very secret little hatchery to see the tiny eggs that have, I would say, probably about a week and a half ago just hatched from their eggs.
I want to focus on something. Usually factories, what we do is we re-edit, we put some music, we cut parts, and you accept it since everything is just open, everything is clean, to film it live as it happens, as it shows, and we are very proud. Everybody's super excited. We are now on YouTube, and I'm going to show you around the clock how many people are watching, the questions they are asking. We're going to ask Chris to give us all the questions asked, and we'll start by the beginning.
Fantastic. So we're doing this totally live. No cutting, no editing. I'll show you exactly this place. So downstairs to the hatchery.
I love this guy. Yalla, come on.
Now, we all have to be very quiet, very calm.
I need your light.
Okay.
So رح نبلش أول شيء هون. رح نبلش وين؟ رح نبلش شو بابا.
Okay, so these baby salmon that have just hatched from eggs are kept in 5-degree water in here. And within 2 years, these salmon will be grown to market size, to be sold in the supermarkets, to be smoked with salmontini, to be sold all across the UAE. So if I just show you, these are the salmon that have just hatched. You can see some of them still have their eggs attached, but these fish have not eaten anything yet. They've literally been living off the nutrients that they have in their eggs. And soon we'll transport these into a freshwater system which essentially replicates a river that could be in Norway or could be on the west coast of Scotland.
So these are how many days, months?
So these are a couple of weeks old.
Couple of weeks.
Those are a couple of weeks old. They've literally just hatched from eggs.
Hundreds of thousands?
Yeah, there are many hundreds.
From
of
that milligram size
to a market size.
5 kilograms?
To 5 kilos, yeah. We will grow these in, I would say, probably in under 2 years. These will be for sale just up the road in our retailers.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's the beginning of the process.
رح نطلع شوي على ضوء وقبل ما بلش اساله كل الاسئله عندي.
Now,
I have lots of questions.
Okay.
Again, let me introduce you again to my friend, Salmontini. Thank you so much for the opportunity of bringing us here.
Very well.
Jason. كنت عم اساله كثير اسئله رح خبركم عنهم بعد شوي.
So let me explain to you where we are now. We've just seen the eggs that have just hatched. So that's the second batch that we've done of Atlantic salmon from Northern Europe to have been born in the UAE. Now, as we all know, salmon start off their life in freshwater rivers. They swim against the current until they smoltify, and then at that point, they go out to sea to feed. So in this system where we are now, this represents the river. So this is all fresh water, and I'm just going to feed them so you can have a little look at the fish right here. Okay, so are there lots of questions coming through that I need to answer, or we'll do that in a minute?
I want to start by the first simple question.
Yes.
When you say farms, this is the way people eat chicken.
Yes.
Hormones and bad stuff. What's happening here?
We are fully certified organic here, which means that we are not allowed and have never used any antibiotics, any hormones. We use organic feed from one of the most reputable suppliers in Europe. We don't use any dyes, we don't use any hormones to produce extra growth. Essentially, these fish usually are grown out to sea in open cages. Here, what we have is we control the temperature, the salinity, the pH, exactly what the food that the fish eat from when they are in this stage in the river to the point that we put them in a supermarket shelf, or we send them to Salmontini to be smoked. The proof is that when I give my kids salmon from our farm, I know what that salmon has eaten from when it was a juvenile to when it goes onto the supermarket shelf. And that's a very big difference to a wild salmon. This is a one-of-a-kind facility. There are, as I said, maybe 2 of them in the world, and we were the first one to get a market-sized salmon grown on land and the only one to grow organic salmon. So now, this is the river section.
Okay.
After a couple of months, the salmon want to go out to sea. So they've been living in the rivers. They then want to go out to sea to go and feed. We have to replicate that.
يعني النهر بعدين البحر. هلا رجعنا نحكي الموضوع. اوكي. ظهرنا من النهر على البحر، شو يعني؟ يعني السالمون اساسا بيكون بالنهر، يعني مي حلوه، بيظهر بفقس بالمي الحلوه، بينزل بيروح على البحر، بالبحر بياكل شريمب، بيغير لونه، بصير لونه اورانج احمر، سالمون كولر اللي هو، واول ما يرجع يكبر بيطلع على النهر to lay eggs. So I believe you.
No, I understand.
So fresh water, sea water, the process, how it starts, how it becomes, a little bit of details.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, the fish start in the river system, and as they grow up, they want to go out to sea. So we have to replicate the increasing salinity of the fish as they travel down the river all the way out to the sea. So we slowly increase the salt content in the fresh water, and then they move into this system. Now, if I just put your hand in here. 14 degrees.
Wow, 14 درجة مجلدة. The water we drink every day, huh?
Yeah,
normal,
absolutely. Yeah.
cold.
Yeah. But this is 14 degrees.
Whoa.
This is the same conditions as an Atlantic salmon would have in Norway, on the west coast of Scotland, in Ireland, in the northern hemisphere.
حرارة المي 14 degrees. Normal sea water, salty water. Yeah?
But here, yeah. No, the salmon wouldn't survive if we put them in the water here in the Gulf. Not for 1 second. But we have to chill this to 14 degrees. So essentially they have exactly the same water conditions. They have exactly the feeds that they would need. We control everything here. Okay,
And
so
then,
can you see them jumping here?
Probably a little bit of food, so you jump.
Yeah,
More?
what we'll do is follow me up here and we'll get a good view down.
Okay. يعني بتشوفوا هون هن مسارع مي مالحة فيها سمو كتير سالمون سمو كلها مي مالحة من جايبها من البحر. الحلو هلا بخبرنا ادمنت عنها انه بيعملوا ريسايكلينج للمي، يعني مش كل الوقت عم بيجيبوا مي من البحر ويكبوها، يجيبوا مي من البحر ويكبوها، كلها سوا بحطوها هون يعملوها ريسايكلينج لتضلها تستقبل. اللي عم تشوفوه هون هيك هو ليكوا قديش غمقة، ليكوا قديش كبرى، طلعوا كمية السمك اللي موجودة بكل وحدة. عم تتخيلوا يعني أكبر من أكبر بيسين أولمبيك Before throwing it, let's talk about the food.
Yes.
What is the food?
So the food is made up of, I think it's about 94% green protein, so Rainforest Alliance approved green protein, and then about 6% of other fish, because it's important that we get the omega-3 into the salmon as it would do if it was in the wild. But this is organic feed, totally halal. It conforms to every standard both for the European Union, also for the US. This is a global leader in fish feed, but it's the organic premium version that we insist on. So we don't feed it with anything else other than this Norwegian organic feed. That's very important to us. So if you have a look down here, these are the next salmon that we will be harvesting, that will be in the supermarkets in the next week or days, whatever our harvest requirement is. It's important to note, we don't keep any freezers here at Fish Farm. Any order comes in, we harvest, and then it's out of the door on that same day. Here we are.
Eat. Whoa, huge. Probably 3.5, 4 kilos.
Oh no, we've got some even bigger ones than that. The biggest we ever got up to was a 12-kilo salmon, just to see if the system could tolerate it. But for most of our customers in Dubai, we're doing 4 to 5 kilos. What we're doing with Salmontini is that 4 to 5 kilo fish that they're then smoking, available in spinneys and Waitrose. But it is worth mentioning, this is all organic fish production. No one else is doing this in the Middle East. No one else has got an organic certification for a land-based salmon farm anywhere. We're the first ones to do it.
Same taste. Same taste.
No, it's not the same taste.
It's better.
No, it's 10 times better. And I'll tell you why, okay? If I buy a Norwegian salmon here this afternoon, it has taken 4, sometimes 5 days to get from there to here. I don't want to eat a 5-day-old fish. If I give you a salmon this evening, it's from this morning. The quality is completely different. I can hand on heart say, all this fish, everything that we produce here, is sashimi grade. Because it's not traveled. It's traveled 30 minutes up the road.
Let's focus on the part that smoked salmon needs to be fresh, never frozen.
Fresh, never frozen.
Fresh, never frozen, again and again. You go to supermarkets, بتروح على supermarket, بتشوفوا مرات سمو لونه pinkish.
Yeah.
This is frozen. This is not good. ساعات بتشيلوها اساسا بيكون ريحتها بتكون طعمتها بتزيزق. Smoked salmon needs to be always probably on ice, very cold, never frozen. And
Never
you have the
frozen.
chance in UAE today, and we'll talk about export later on, to have fresh fish on the supermarket shelves on a daily basis.
Well, can I say one other thing as well that's really important, I think ethically as well. There's the taste, there's the commercial aspect of everything as well. But ethically, is it right for us to be shipping salmon from South America to Dubai, or from Norway, or from Scotland, or shipping it all over the world, when the technology and the expertise now exists to be able to build a farm like this 25 kilometers away from the 9 million people that live in Dubai? Why wouldn't you do that in every city around the world? That's our mission statement. We have no great problem with the cage farm industry, but this is now possible. So we would encourage investment into this sector, and we're very proud to be the first guys over the line, actually, to get, as I said, I can see an 8-kilo salmon swimming down there. That could be for supper tonight. Give us a call. Okay, so this is the salmon area.
So what we think is big is nothing yet.
No, this is nothing compared to what we're planning. So this is a 1,000-ton land-based fish farm. What's coming next year is a
10,000 tons. Whoa.
Now let me show you the next bit.
Okay, so this is the small room. We're going to a bigger one.
No, this is the salmon area.
Okay.
We're doing multi-species.
Okay. How many?
So I want to show you some other
Let's
species as well.
talk about Atlantic salmon. The origin is cold water areas, usually Scotland, Ireland, Norway, and Chile. Now today in Dubai, perfect quality, same flavor, and it grows between 22 and 24 months. So you have everything about salmon. Now today learned and so on. Temperature exactly 12-15. هيدي حرارة المي. So other than salmon, what other fish do you have?
So next door, we're going to have a look. We now have, so it's a nice way to explain it. We have the Atlantic. Next door, we have the Pacific and the Mediterranean. So in the Mediterranean, we can grow sea bream and sea bass. And in the Pacific, we have Yellowtail Kingfish or Hamachi, which is what you get when you go to Nobu or Zuma or one of those nice restaurants. So come and have a look.
Let's go. Very excited.
Okay, you guys talk for 1 second. Let me get the key.
Let's talk for 1 second. نحن وين؟ نحن اليوم بالجبل عالي يلي هي الفري زون دي بي وورلد. عم نحكي عن واحد من اكبر البار بالعالم. هلا بالاخر بشوف اذا فينا نرجع نفرجيكم بس برا شو عم بيصير. في عندنا كونتينرات باخره فاتي باخره ظاهره شيء خوات، عن جد شيء خوات. ومبارح ساعة سألت انه بليز فيكم تعطونا اكسس على هذا المعمل او هيدا الفارم. انا قلت اكيد رح يقولوا لا، اكيد رح يقولوا ممنوع التصوير، اكيد رح يقولوا بتعرفوا نحن بلبنان ربيانين بيقوعوا معمل ما تفوتوا كاميرا وشو بدنا نصور وبدنا نشوف الفوتج قبل and so on. I was very pleased, very honored, very super happy. وعم نتعلم مع بعضنا in HD quality. I hope you're enjoying it. If you have any question, please let me know. We have the key and we can start.
Right, we have to do our hands.
Sure.
Because keep it nice and clean, no contamination here. Thank you.
Yeah. Of light. I need more light.
Yeah, more light.
Yeah. So why not cows and the idea of fish being the food of the future? We're okay.
Okay, so one of the major challenges with global population increasing is the production of protein. Now, if you want to produce 1 kilo of beef, you need over 10 kilos of feed to create that one. So it's a 10-to-1 ratio for beef. If you want to produce 1 kilo of fish, you need just over 1 kilo of feed. So in terms of efficiency, it's the best food that you can get. It's very efficient. Growing it on land is very sustainable. Remember, we're still hunting fish. I don't hunt beef. I don't hunt chicken. But we're still hunting fish on a commercial scale. And that can change with this type of technology. Now what we're looking at here is the Mediterranean, the Pacific over there, and let me show you a few fish.
Beautiful. Super excited.
So what we have here, this fish usually is coming in from Japan. And it'll be days old. It'll be 3 or 4 or 5 days old and maybe flash frozen. This is Yellowtail Kingfish or Hamachi.
This is the gourmet fish of sushi restaurants.
Oh my God, this is the best fish that you can have. We're selling this to the restaurants on the same day that they make an order, right? The same day they make an order, we're delivering direct to their restaurant. So this is sashimi grade, Yellowtail Kingfish, or as the Japanese call it, Hamachi. So this is in the Pacific.
So the pinkish color.
It's the sort of whitey, pinkish, creamy, amazing sashimi fish that you have. Now, we also have some babies over there. You want to see them?
قديش كبرهم. You have that light to see how big they are. And let's eat food.
Okay, so those are the parents. Let's have a look at the kids.
Any the food?
I don't know if there's onions.
Whoa!
So these are what we call the brood stock. We think next year we're going to start stripping eggs from these, and these will be the next generation that we use for the next juveniles. And at that point we will be fully self-sufficient in Hamachi. So we'll be fertilizing and hatching our own eggs here in the UAE for the UAE, and hopefully to export one day. But here are the first babies that we have.
روعة. Fish likes to eat.
Remember, this is all organic fish grown half an hour away from the market.
Organic fish.
All organically, so no hormones, no antibiotics,
Ready to eat raw.
ready to eat sashimi style. So these are the hamachi. Usually these fly in all the way from Japan, but they don't need to. We can serve you right from here. Okay, so now this is the Pacific. Now we're going to go and have a look at the Mediterranean.
حلو كتير، حلو كتير. رح نعمل هيك اوفر فيو تطلعوا قديش حلو، قديش شغل نظيف، الريحة روعة، النظافة ماكسيموم، شغل مرتب، شغل كتير مرتب. اوفر فيو، يلا هيك تمشي سريعة، شوفوا شو الأجواء.
Come and have a look at this. Show some sea bass. Okay, so we're now looking at some Mediterranean sea bass. What we're doing here is we're grading the big ones from the small ones. And just like school, the bullies in the playground, they take everything. So we put the small fish into their own tank so that they can grow up unimpeded. So let me show you a couple of Mediterranean sea bass. Look at the quality of this fish. This is sea bass growing right here in Jebel Ali. Instead of it being imported 4 or 5 days from Greece, Tunisia or Turkey. And these are the guys. Say hi. So this fish will be harvested today, this evening maybe, for tomorrow morning straight into the supermarket. And that's the main thing about these land-based farms, is that you can place them right next to the population center. It can be Dubai, it could be Houston in Texas. Is there any smell in this facility at all?
Zero.
Nothing.
And we didn't talk about the recycling the water and only using 2% of the water.
Yeah, that's really important to say as well. Sorry, I should have said that. So this facility, 98% of the water in this facility, everywhere you look, stays here. 2% comes in and out. The reason we do that is that we have total control. So all the water that stays in here is perfectly clean, the perfect temperature, the perfect salinity and pH and everything else, so that the fish are happy. There you go. This is the farm.
This is the farm.
This is the farm. And this is only the beginning of things to come.
Okay, so a fish to be on the market needs to be 2 years old.
Yeah.
So how does it go from 1 to 1 to 1? Does it come in batches?
Yeah, so we put in 3 batches a year, usually. But it means that we have a continuous supply into the retail market, into the hotels and restaurants of Dubai. Maybe one day we'll start exporting. That would be an interesting thing for us as well.
No export yet.
No exports yet. But listen, we have Emirates Airlines right here. We have 2/3 of the population within 8 hours. There are some very interesting things coming in terms of land-based aquaculture. And this is a little bit like the first jet plane. It's the beginning of a brand new big industry. What we would like to see is to leave the oceans alone. Take the fish farms out of the oceans. Let the fish recover. Let the corals recover. Let's stop messing with the environment. Build these farms on land. Put them next to the big population centers of the world. That's the way to feed the planet. One thing to remember, by 2050, we need to double the amount of fish that we produce to keep up with population growth. Wild catch of fish is declining, so the only way it's ever going to be done is through aquaculture, and this is at the forefront of aquaculture.
I saw a couple of screens down there. The operation.
Oh, you want to see the computers?
Can I?
Yeah, the place is open. We're open. We're open.
أحلى محل. تعال. صورتكم ستوري صغيرة.
I need to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Did you see any diseased or dead fish?
No.
Not one.
Not one.
We have many millions of fish in this facility, and you didn't even see one.
Yes, exactly.
That's the point of this control.
100% survival rate.
If there's a fish that's not happy, it's my fault. Because we control everything here, the oxygen, the salinity, the pH, everything. So that's our responsibility. But to help us with that, we have the computer system downstairs.
Wow, this is amazing. ما تخيلت خليني فوت على الكمبيوتر فمحمس معكم كثير. Quantities.
Are they good?
The Hamachi is also sold at 4.5.
No, we go even bigger.
Bigger?
The Hamachi can go up to 25 kilos, but we stick to about 6-7 kilos, something like that.
The way it is. ننزل نقول.
Say hello, everybody. I didn't mention before, but we're a government-owned business, owned by Sheikh Hamdan. This was about 3 months ago, during the lockdown. The Sheikh and Sheikh Hamdan and the Food Security Minister came to see us because they realized what a food security asset this business is, and that has led us to now expanding quite significantly. Let's have a look at the computers. Okay, so this is Star Trek. So what I want to show you here is this is the system that runs the farm. So for example, each section has its own pumps, its own cleaning, its own filtration, but also we can set, and this is one of the guys setting it right now, as I've said a few times, we can set the perfect oxygen, the perfect salinity, the perfect current, the perfect temperature for each type of fish that we have. Now, if we all disappear from this farm, for 5 days it runs by itself. It gives oxygen, it gives food to the fish. We don't even need to be here. Or if we are abroad and there's a problem, we can reset the computer remotely. This is, I'm going to say it again, right? This is the future of fish farming. This kind of system.
future of factories.
Yeah.
طلعوا كل وحده ديجيتال، كل وحده كل تفاصيل، قديش كبرى، شو بتعمل، المي سقعتها، beautiful screens all over. I thought this only is available at the Pentagon.
But this keeps our fish alive. Now, obviously, we have to rely on this technology, but we also have to rely on the operational excellence of the people working here and the experience of the people working here. Between us, I think we have over 70 years worth of aquaculture experience in the business. And that's when you're dealing with a live fish, when you're dealing with a biological asset, you have to be sensitive to that biological asset. So that's the importance of this system. It complements, the technology complements the human activity, and the human activity complements the technical.
Let's wrap up outside.
Yeah, let's go.
And I want to show them a quick view. This is a bonus view of the port being in operation.
Ah, yeah, of course.
And the entrance to the factory.
Good.
To the farm. Entrance. This is where it all starts. Fish farm, hangarat, ما كتير كبار, and you're expanding now to 10,000.
10 times what we're doing here. That's
Okay.
the next stage. So
Quick
it's very
overview,
exciting.
conclusion, where to buy your fish, how
Yes.
it is, what did we see today, and then we'll show them the millions of containers back there.
Okay, so quickly, so B2C, contact us directly on our social media, and we can do deliveries right to your house for your barbecue this weekend, for the national holidays, whatever you need. If not, we're in Carrefour, we're in Spinneys, we're in Waitrose, we're in Lulu, we're in all of the major retailers. Look out for one unique thing as well. There's organic smoked salmon available as a joint venture with Salmontini, and that's available only in Spinneys and Waitrose. You'll see it, Emirati flag, organic smoked salmon from us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. تعالوا نتفرج شوي على البور تبع جبل علي. الاصوات اللي عم تسمعوهم هي كميه كونتينرات اللي عم تجي وتروح تجي وتروح. طلعوا شيء جنون. long alleys of container. عندنا من هول الجيراف اللي بتشوفوهم ببور بيروت، ما بعرف والله هي كل عن 40 50 وحده. طلعوا ببلش ما بيخلص من الاول للاخر. كونتينرات عم بتروح، كونتينرات عم تجي، ان اكشن ان اوبريشن، ولا جرو واقفه ولا كرين واقفه. This is where we all say goodbye. ما بعرف اذا مسموح التصوير anyway. So هلا بنط علينا شي واحد no cameras allowed. ساعة نروح على حالنا كل الفيديو. Let's say goodbye. بنشوفكم ببريمير بعد دقايق يلي هي 10 ستريت فود ستوبس اللي عملناها مع ربيع امبارح. يلا goodbye. Thank you for watching.